Yo, what's up? What's good, man? It's royalty trades. I'm taking a look at the post FOMC aftermath, just to look at what the market's pricing in and getting ready for the upcoming week. So, um, I got the spot charts pulled up right now, and as of right now, price action is looking pretty flat, to be honest. We did see a minor drop, pretty close to this 365 range, but since then it's popped back up to the upside. So we had a pretty good day in the Discord today. So far, let's see, we had a pretty decent day. Yeah, so we had nine green, nine red, nine yellow, and then there's two just made money. So we had some good trades today. One of the new analysts here, Maddie, they went 39% on Nvidia calls, took a slight little paper cut on TM, and nice 32% on Marvel calls. Also, both of those have great time on the expiration dates. Another one of our head analysts, my partner, trying to make it. He's been providing solid due diligence throughout the day with Apple and with Nvidia. So we also looked at oil and gas today. We looked at a couple of plays, but everything's kind of in limbo at the moment. We just have to wait till a lot of this data gets released economically and a lot of these earnings get played out over the next week or two. Well, actually, over the next month because we have NVIDIA earnings pretty close to the end of February. And so sometimes, back previous earnings, the market was really leaning on NVIDIA at times to perform well and get the market back to an upside trend. So everything is going to be interesting. So I guess we're going to keep watching Tesla to see how it's going to trade. My take on it was that it probably end up closing flat and to carry on with the market. The FOMC meeting was today. I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I'm gonna have to go back and see um, what I was being said and as far as expectations. I got a lot of updates from different people, but I really just need to go and lock in myself just to see how I want to digest the information and how I want to play it going forward. So we see Tesla trading back and forth. Microsoft, Microsoft dropped down, closing around 441. It's dropping back down to 434. If you look at it from a long-term perspective, even if we came down here and filled this gap right here, it's been having a pretty good uptrend as far as long term. So if this is what we're watching since August of last year, it's been having a pretty good uptrend. It's possible we still push back up to 469. I think Microsoft is going to be it's going to be a huge factor in the Trump era over these next 4 years. So I definitely think anything as far as buying a dip on Microsoft, it'll be a good dip buy. So even if we do decide that we want to come down lower, down to this 421 range, um, and we see a partial break of trend or not, I think that it can be bought back up to push up to higher levels. At some point we probably come back up and retest this 470 up to 480. So even if Microsoft dips, I still say buy the dip on those. Nvidia was something that we've been watching all day. We caught the bottom previously at the 116, and then we actually timed the bottom or caught the bottom around 120 and took calls around there, which was pretty solid. So if I take a look at the Nvidia, we actually talked about the bottom being held well. 120. Yeah. So I called it earlier around noontime, which was looking to enter NVIDIA calls around 120. We were also in ZOM calls today too, looking for that 109, that 110 retest, but that 120 level, it held up rather well. Here we are trading into the aftermarket and is up to 126. So we could possibly be looking at this 128 being retested and then trading up back up into supply levels. Um, Very earlier this morning, we looked at some February 21st 140 or 142 calls that we actually had to cut. So 142, 221. When I realized that we probably was going to be dipping lower, 221 gives us plenty of time. Here's 221, here's 143. So if we still by that expiration date, if we made it up here to 142, you know, we should get close to being in the money and possibly go above and go in the money if we break out above this trend right here. So, you know, Nvidia held up rather well, I would say. Um, Meta, what's Meta doing? So Meta got all the green lights, but I don't know. Is it priced in? 683. I have a top here around 750ish. So I don't know if you know what we're waiting on right now, but if it pops, that's where it's going. Check it out here. Nice long-term uptrend on Meta. This is all the way from July of last year. You see, it's been holding this trend fairly well since the last time it touched here. And then anytime we caught the dip down here, it held fairly well. So um, everything looks good on the earnings. If it pops, I got 750 up there. If it drops, then we're looking at like 618. So it might be something that we'll come back to. I think Apple has earnings tomorrow. Yeah, Apple has earnings tomorrow. This was something I was looking at today, this potential head, and looking at this consolidation to see if we came back down today for the move up. But we're approach some supply levels here around 240, 241. It doesn't show up on the 4 hour, but it shows up on the 3, the 2, and the 1. So um, it's something to pay attention to. A rejection around here, 241 to 240, and we might see the sideways movement. Here's support right here on there, and uh, I don't know. Let's just see where it carries. Once we get up in here tomorrow, and it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. Long term, this would be a solid trend right there to look at for the upside potential. And you know, this will line back up with 268, 270. So depending on how it holds up, depending on how it trades, that'll be that'll be pretty interesting. We was holding this trend right here on Apple. And since then it has reclaimed this trend line. So, I mean, this is just how I like to look at the stock market. Even though we get these temporary, you know, bottom out moments to where it breaks these more solid trends, you still want to be able to, you know, set a stop loss and then look for opportunities like this to where you know that the stock is just doing something that it shouldn't have been doing. And this just happened to be bank downgrades on the stock based off of think the iPhones. So watching Nvidia right now, and we keep pushing up. We got to pop above the supply levels here at 241, 242, somewhere around there. We watch for rejections here around like 244, 245. This is where I think we should see some type of like resistance if it takes out supply levels and want to trade a little bit above it. Um, 245 would be my target. And if we do good on earnings and it decides that it wants to pop up, then we could be looking at this 266 to 270 range being the top of this trend. So if you want to go long, this is where you want to aim for. So, um, has Meta moved? No, it hasn't. Amazon's been holding pretty steady. So, um, it looks like it wants to come back down. Reason why we hasn't had a gap up here. So price is starting to exhaust. It's still pushing all-time highs. Here's our trend right here on it. And we can probably look for this to be a good long-term trend also. So Amazon has a little bit more steam to it. We may just have to see it come down and grab some more liquidity and see how many more buyers step in down here if it does, or just see if it can accumulate some more buyers within this range here and probably stretch it out and push back to the upside. So we'll just have to see how that holds up. If it breaks below this, then we can look for some movement down here. And you could take some long calls around this trend here unless we break this structure and it wants to break down more as it approaches earnings. And this is probably in about a week or so. So this is something that we want to keep track of also. If it starts to dip, getting closer, it might be a good buying opportunity if it gets anywhere down here for the move back to the upside and to go long. So as I'm checking these out, I'm actually writing them down, also taking notes, because these are the opportunities that you want to be able to take if you see buying opportunities as it approaches. So that way you can kind of catch the movements before the premiums get juiced. So Amazon looks like it needs to come down a little bit more, kind of like how it did here. It traded up, came back down. Here we are. It traded up into supply. It still popped, and it's eventually coming back down. I think this would be an opportunity in the market to sell the rip. I think we're gonna push up more, but I do think that any more that we push up and fill in this gap, then we need to sell the rip on the market to the upside. Because if it gases out coming up here, guess what? It's coming back down here and it eventually come back down here. So make sure you're taking profits. Make sure you're locking them in. Very important. Very important. Because you don't want to be holding calls and then something like this happens. You get halfway up into it. I think I pointed it out this morning when I did the pre-market analysis. We're going to see a fight right here between the bulls and the bears. And we got to the very top of it and eventually we traded back down to the downside. We could have came back down here, but the market just wanted to wait, indecisive, wanted to let Jay Powell talk. And then we want to see how the earnings are gonna come out and how some of this economic data is gonna play out. So a couple of different stocks played out different. One thing that I was watching that we actually watched it take off was It was crowd. And this was a beautiful move on crowd. We caught it yesterday here. Let's see where crowd was when we actually saw it. And the contracts were kind of juiced for the strikes. Yeah. So, this was crowd. I liked it in all-time highs. I didn't really have it charted. Just going off of looks. And then, oh, I'll jump back to it. Yeah, so I didn't really have it charted and I wanted to take it. Didn't know how high to go. Once I got it charted, um, you want to look at 397 was the target for the day and 435 was the long. I try to keep all my plays below $200 just because I want them to be affordable for everybody. Um, and eventually it started moving. So we saw it push all the way up to 410 and then it exhausted at the top and started trading back here. So I'm gonna kind of wait on it. I don't know when earnings is. The next earnings is for crowd. It's in March, so it has time to figure out which direction it wants to trade over the next month or so. But this exhaustion gap here, this could be where it prices. You know, you want to go short and you want to watch it come back down. We may be coming back down. I don't know. I don't really see any just trends that I'm comfortable with as far as support because it is kind of up and down. I mean, I guess we could kind of label or point out this one here since this was the second touch and we could have a third touch going forward. But I mean, I think cybersecurity is something that the future's headed to. Yeah, we could take that one. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we could take that one. So I mean, if I wouldn't want you to buy up here, this was just gonna be good for a day trade. But the fact that it's in this deep red lets me know that it has more upside potential. Um, if it gets anywhere back down here to this 360 level, I think that this would be a good level to go ahead and start locking in some plays with because this is it right here. This is a long consolidation, seen some highs, seen a few lows, but this is what a majority of the meat and potatoes is. So um, if we drop back down to any of these levels, then I think this is where you'll want to buy up the dip. So um, that's just what I like on crowd and AVGO. Nah, we'll wait on AVGO because it's you got bulls up here and bears down up here and bulls down here. So it's just too much conflict. Netflix is holding up pretty well. Got a lot of space down here to fill. I'm sure the contracts are expensive as hell, but it still has more upside room to run if the market continues to push. But it still has a lot of downside. So it looks like it's not coming down at the moment. It looks like it's going to continue to ride this trend and then eventually push up more. So it's going to 1,000 soon. So just keep your eyes out. Hopefully it doesn't split, but once stocks start pushing high like this, then you know that's what you can expect. So um, I think I look at TSM last two. This is another one that I liked. Pretty good trend on TSM. Yeah, it's a pretty solid trend on here. Mm, to the upside as far as support levels. I mean, that was a kind of a decent dip. You saw it reclaim, and now it's pushing back up to the upside. So going forward, I think TSM it'll be pretty solid. We just have to watch for this big supply level right here. It should fill, but it's probably gonna come back down unless it eventually gaps back up and breaks out of this trend here. So we could see some long consolidation in between here with all these sellers sitting right here. So um, just wanted to check out a few stocks, see where everything's heading. There it go. Told you it was gonna take off sooner or later. I guess they went on ahead and got what they wanted to hear. I got a price target around 750. So if it continues, hello. Then I didn't take anything because I made some good money on Meta ER. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was just too high for my comfort, even though it's bullish. I didn't want to see it drop back in here before going long, kind of like Microsoft did. But that's all I got for y'all today. I'll be tapping in with the pre-market analysis in the morning. We'll see how this market is gonna play out. Like I said, I don't know. We making money, man. We making money. You only are as strong as the people that's around you. So we've been surrounding ourselves with like-minded people in the group, and we're only getting stronger. So I'll tap in with you guys in the morning. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, like it, share it, do whatever you need to do. I'm always give these gems, and we're gonna always make money. So y'all stay tuned in with your boy. Catch y'all tomorrow.